Hello, my name is Jeff Williams with Lengthwise Brewing Company. Today on this episode of Lengthwise TV, I'd like to describe some of our beers, how they're made, and their taste and quality. Our first beer I'd like to talk to you about is our flagship beer, Centennial Ale. We've been producing this product for approximately 9 years. It is an IPA. The alcohol by volume is 6.5%. The IBU is right around 35 to 40. This beer basically features 2-row malted barley with 40 Levabon malt, Carapils malt, and a touch of 120 malt, Levabon malt. The main hops, of course, in this beer, being called Centennial, are Centennial hops. In the boil, we only use 1 pound of Columbus hops, and then we use a lot of Cascade and Centennial at the end of boil. What we found is by adding them at the end of the boil, or the whirlpool, is that we get a nice hop flavor without a lot of hop bitterness. Dry hops are both, once again, Centennial, and then we also use Simcoe, a touch of Simcoe in this beer as well. One of the things you'll notice, all the beers that we do are unfiltered. Here's a pint of Centennial, nice creamy head. It's not easy to see through, as you can tell. So it still has yeast in it. There's still proteins. The first thing you'll notice on the aroma is kind of a piney, woody aroma to it. Maybe a touch of citrus, grapefruit, a little bit of lemon. And on the taste, of course, you get a nice hop explosion, nice malty finish without a whole lot of bitterness, which is basically what we're looking for in our IPAs. Next in our beer series, I'd like to talk to you about our Citra Simcoe Centennial Ale. This beer has been around for about 2 years, and the story behind this beer is we've started with our original Centennial Ale and went one step further. So the brewing, the ingredients in this beer are exactly the same on the malt bill. It's the exact same product, except at the end of the fermentation, after the initial dry hopping, we're actually dry hopping one step further, and we're adding Amarillo and Citra hops to it, to put one more edge on the dry hops to this product. So basically the same beer, except a little different dry hopping on it. The one thing you'll notice on this beer, on the aroma, compared to the Centennial, is there's a hint of the Citra hop that comes through, and the Amarillo, which gives it a little more floral, some passion fruits. You still get a touch of the citrus and the grapefruit behind it, but it takes on a new life, to say. And of course, you get even a little more hop flavor than you would pick up in the normal Centennial. Citra Simcoe, once again, unfiltered like all our other products. The alcohol by volume, the same, 6.5%, but it's just one step above on the hopping schedule than the Centennial. Next in our beer series, the beer I'd like to discuss is our Double Cent Ale. This is a double IPA that we started brewing about 3 years ago. And the story behind it is we had our Centennial Ale, our flagship IPA, which we discussed earlier, and we took it a step further and it bumped the alcohol. So this is right around 8.7 to 9% alcohol by volume, truly a double IPA. The difference on this beer is on the hopping schedule. The malt bill is pretty much the same as the Centennial Ale, minus the 120. We don't have any 120 in this at all. And basically the hops, we use Galaxy, a lot of Galaxy in this. We also use Amarillo, and of course our flagship would be Centennial hops as well. So all three of those go in there. We use Galaxy in the boil, at the end of boil, once again, hop bursting. You get a lot of hop flavor without a lot of hop bitterness. Very good beer. Once again, like all Lengthwise beer, it is unfiltered. The other thing to remember, all Lengthwise beer will have a bottle on date. Let's go ahead and try it. Once again, I get grapefruit. The Galaxy's putting a little stone fruit in there. A citrus, lemon peel. Tiny bit of malt coming through. The hops, there's enough hops in here that hides the alcohol really well. Being 9%, sometimes that alcohol will ring through and you'll really get it on the palate. We have enough dry hops in there, I think mainly from the Galaxy and the Centennial that are covering that up. I think that you're going to be surprised how much you like this beer and how well it covers up the alcohol. Double Centennial Ale. This is probably the newest beer that we've brewed outside of our Imperial Stout. Once again, a double IPA. It's 9% alcohol by volume. The story behind this beer is we were brewing our Imperial IPA, Zeus, and we had a batch that didn't quite hit the gravity. So all the ingredients going into it were pretty much the same, but we had a lower starting gravity than we were looking for. So we didn't give up. It was serendipitous. We put it in the fermenter and started hopping with some experimental hops, or hops that were new to us. It was our first time using Mosaic, so we put 2 pounds per barrel in as a dry hop and see what we thought. We weren't overly impressed with that much Mosaic, so we started to cover it up. And what we covered it up with was Simcoe, Citra, and Galaxy. And not quite 2 pounds per barrel, but a lot of hops in there. This beer, once again, at the end of boil, lots of hop bursting, only 1 pound for the entire hour in the boil of hops, and then all the hops are into boil and dry hop. Once again, unfiltered beer, 9% alcohol by volume. Probably the most fragrant beer we have as far as the overwhelming hop presence from multiple hops. You really get your nose is challenged with almost a touch of stone fruit, grapefruit, apricot, almost a little peach, tangerine, just very, very complex. And that's mainly coming from the dry hops and the hop bursting from the kettle. And the same thing in the taste. I mean, finishes very, very, starts with a sweet kind of malty, hoppy taste, finishes off to a nice dryness. Oh yeah, if you haven't tried it, go ahead and get some. I'd like to talk to you about our Zeus Imperial IPA. This is a true Imperial IPA. It's right around 9.7% to 10.2%, depending on the brew and the batch. This beer is mainly 2-row malted barley with a touch of 40 Lovibond and some Carapils malt. The main hops behind it, we use Zeus in the kettle, then we pour 5-gallon buckets of Citra hops at the end of boil. It's dry hopped with both Citra and Amarillo, and over 2 pounds per barrel on the dry hops. The one thing that you'll really notice on the nose is a strong passion fruit. There's some orange and lemon, a bit of apricot, tiny bit of peach behind it, and then also on the flavor, it starts out with a sweetness from the Citra dry hops and ends with a nice drier finish. The thing that's incredible about this beer is being 10%, the hops have helped cover up the alcohol so well. If you haven't tried Zeus Imperial Ale, please do so. I think you'll be impressed. We have a little teaser for you. Upcoming beer description we're going to do is on Zeus on Wood. It's our standard Zeus Imperial Ale that we take, and we've aged 10 weeks in bourbon barrels. It's pretty incredible. Now there's a reason we're using a 12-ounce snifter glass for pouring this. Being 10% sitting in whiskey, it gets a little stronger. Remember to visit us at any of our 3 locations here in Bakersfield, and then also check us out on www.lengthwise.com, or you can check us out on www.YouTube Lengthwise TV. Good day.